Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. Being a parent is not easy. That's rhetorical. I don't even have to tell you that if you are a parent, but even more challenging if you have a child that has special needs. A lot going on there, a lot to unpack in your journey with them, support them. We're going to talk with somebody who has a lot of experience there, and that is by way of being a certified life coach and Clarity Catalyst instructor. And she's back with us. So much insight we get from her. Ghada Elias is here on the program. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, very well.
Good.
When we say special needs, how do we define that?
Well, I mean, when we think of special need, we think of a child with a diagnosis. Can range from autism to ADHD to Down syndrome to any other diagnosis a child can get. That's just how we parents look at special needs.
Sure, sure. And when you work with somebody, a parent, well, let me just double check. Do you also work with children as well?
It depends on where they are on the spectrum.
Okay.
Because someone like my son, I can't work with him because he doesn't have the understanding. But a child with like Asperger, yes, they do have the understanding, but you have to go with how much they understand.
As a, and I'm just curious, do you have other children as well?
I have two. I
You
have
have
a
two.
son and a daughter. Yes.
And it's your son that has special needs, correct?
My daughter too. She was born on the
Okay.
spectrum as well. But
Okay.
with a lot of therapy, she's in college now.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, how did you, we're never prepared to be a parent.
Oh,
It's never.
yeah.
How did that journey work for you? How did it change for you in realizing that your children had special needs?
Well, my story is different than a lot of people. Well, every story is different. But my story starts with my daughter, who was born with a lot of, the major sensory dysfunction you can have in a kid. And back then, I didn't know what it was. I just kept on telling doctors that something is wrong with my daughter. Something is not right. I'm comparing her to other kids in the family, and something is not there. I didn't know what it was until one doctor actually listened to me and started me with early intervention. Back then, my daughter was a year and a half. And even early intervention, I had no idea what it was. I just knew something is not right and I need to fix it somehow. I don't know how. And then here comes my son with similar issues. And I started to see the same signs. So we started therapy even before my kids were diagnosed. And I think that's what really helped the progress that I see in them now. It's all the therapy that they had. Was I prepared? Absolutely not. It was like, this is what you have. Figure it out and deal with it. And I just, a lot of people ask me, like, how do you deal with this? How do you do it? I say, I don't know. I don't know any other way of living because I don't have kids, typical kids. So I don't know the difference. To me, this is the norm. So did I go through, a lot of parents go through the grief of losing your own dreams of what you want to do with your kids. I don't think I had the opportunity to go through that. I was just had so much I was dealing with. It just became the norm. But we do struggle with the loss of what we want for our kids, what we imagined life would be for them.
Is it, as a parent in your situation, is it did you start thinking, my kids are going to be this, but then realize they have needs. So, we have to work differently to get this. By this, I mean, what they maybe going to college, maybe starting, dream jobs, whatever it might be. Um, did you have some fear there that wouldn't be attained?
Yes and no.
Hmm.
I had moments where I would think, okay, well, I don't think they're going to go to college. Even my daughter, I never really thought she would make it to college and be independent and live on her own. Did not see that for her in the future. But everything I did, I always had high expectations for them. It was like, okay, we reached this milestone. Now we're gonna go higher, and we're gonna go higher.
Hmm.
So I always had high expectations, but I did not dare to believe that it was going to happen because I didn't like the disappointment of them not happening. So this is why yes and no.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it was a mindset of positivity? We're just going to keep going. We're just
Yeah.
as opposed to, oh
Mm,
well, didn't do that, didn't do that.
no.
Um, hmm. Interestingly, I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend, and his son is 21, has many, many challenges. And we were me and my friend driving to a destination to meet up with others. So we had some car time to talk. And he says, I never stop pushing my son
Yep.
in different directions. It could be trying a new food, trying maybe a sport, trying an activity. He said many times my son says, no, I don't want to do it. And he says, I push him. And then either he likes it or he doesn't. And my friend's daughter, who is younger than her brother, would say, Dad, why do you keep pushing him? You have to leave him alone. You're being annoying. And he had to explain to her, no, if I don't, he's not going to move forward. This is what he needs. So, that being said, how do you identify as a parent what your child needs? Or is it also through coaching, talking with somebody that can help you along the way to realize what when we say special needs, what your child really does need?
I think talking to a lot of therapists, I don't want to say friends, because unless they live the life that you're living, no one can relate.
Mm,
No one knows the struggle. They say, oh, we understand, but truly you don't understand unless you're living it. I got lucky. Truly, I was blessed. I had a lot of amazing therapists and amazing teachers that anytime I had a question, they guided me in what to do. The doctor, my kid's pediatrician, the best. I was able to call her every time I had an issue and talk to her, and she always gave me ways to deal with things. There's no right and wrong answers. There's no, this is the best way. And it's just things that we do. And if they don't turn out to be right, we just have to change them.
mm,
It's a trial. One example with my son, and I tell this to a lot of parents, when our kids have tantrums and behavior problems, don't look at them first as a behavior problem.
mm.
Address them first as in, maybe your kid has a headache, maybe they have a stomach ache, but they can't tell us. Our kids cannot tell us when they're in pain. And so that is frustrating on them, and we don't understand. So we look at their behavior as in a behavior before, and we don't know that it could be something else. So I always say, treat it first as in a medical thing. Maybe try medicine first, try Advil, try whatever it is that you want to give your child, and see if it improves. It's a medical thing. If it doesn't, then you start dealing with it as a behavior.
Mm.
That helped me a lot with my son.
Wow. I never thought of it in
Yes.
that regard.
Yeah. That because my son couldn't tell me he was in pain. So like we investigate. We kind of like we're investigators when it comes to our kids. We have to figure out why it's happening, but don't drive yourself insane trying to figure out. Just you've got to try things and see which one works.
What about for the parent that is at the point where they're frustrated? They've gotten, maybe hitting a wall. They don't know how to proceed. Do you support them in that way as well?
Yeah, we all hit a wall.
Mm.
I hit so many walls. I had days when I just went to sleep crying. And I'm like, I can't do this. I'm done. I'm frustrated. Life is not the same with kids with special needs. And it's never the same because you always have restraints. When you hit a wall, this is where self-care comes in.
Mm.
We hit a wall because we are so in that circle of special needs that we just don't take time for ourselves to breathe and to step back and think of things differently, basically. Self-care is the most important thing that I did not realize until 5 years ago. I was in it. I was in that circle.
I don't want to agree, just to agree, but I did the same exact thing. And I only figured that out maybe 3 to 4 years ago. Prior to that, never did it. I remember signing up in 2019 for the gym, which is 800 feet away from here. And I would go to the gym and I would get on the treadmill and I would get off about, I don't know, 12 minutes later, thinking to myself, I got to go to work. I got to go to work. Got to take care of my family. Gotta. Instead of saying, take care of you. So I get off the treadmill, leave the gym, come here. I don't want to say it was ridiculous, but it's kind of, why did I show up in the first place? But to your point, didn't realize how important self-care is. We feel guilty in doing it. And especially with a parent of a special needs child, you're focused all on them, but you can't give them the best focus if you haven't focused on you. Right?
Exactly. And a lot of people think self-care, oh my gosh, it's a lot. Like I've got to do so much for myself to feel better. And no, you don't. You really have to figure out, schedule just a small portion of your day, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Really, that's all it takes just for you to read a book, recharge, whatever it is that makes you happy, a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Step away from everything, have peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. I mean, my biggest self-care, and this is a non-negotiable, this is like a doctor's appointment that lasts 10 days, is my solo traveling. This is my biggest one. But during the day, I take time for myself, that 30-minute. To me, it's a doctor's appointment. It is non-negotiable. That's how we have to think about it. Self-care is non-negotiable.
Goes on your calendar.
On your calendar.
And don't deviate. No. That's it.
No, yep. It's really a very important doctor's appointment. That's what I tell parents. It's a doctor's appointment. Would you not make it to the doctor?
Never thought of it that way.
Same thing for you.
Yeah. It's we minimize how important it is. But then we also look at it as, well, I don't have time for that. I can't afford that. Self-care, what is that? Going to the spa, getting my nails done? No, it's 5 minutes and walk outside and just, I've gotten to the point, and I don't know if it's meditation, but I've gotten to the point where I can be anywhere and just take a moment, maybe close my eyes and just focus on nothing or something. But I'm almost mentally transported away from all of this to there just by being intentional. And I never used to do that. It's almost magical. Like, it's like, at a moment, I look forward to those moments, and then it helps you, gives you clarity. It's like a reset button. Yeah. But we need to be grounded as well. One of the best ways is just take a walk outside.
Yeah, exactly. It just like resets your brain. It brings you down to that level where, okay, I can breathe. I'll rethink of things, and then I respond the way that's going to make things better for me in life. And now it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. We're always going to have our ups and downs. We're going to have days where nothing is going right, but that's okay. It's just a day. It's going to pass.
You know, I'm not a parent of a special needs child, but that's not to say that I've had some challenges and still do with my children. There was something going
I'm
on.
sure. Yeah.
Um, but in my view here, if you don't have a special needs child, your days are usually kind of the same. Child goes to school, comes home, maybe
Yeah.
homework, kind of the same. But when it's special needs, every day is different. And there's something new going on every day. And I would imagine you need to build that resilience as a parent
Oh,
where it doesn't trip you, where you fall
oh,
over. It's just,
just okay. I'll tell you a quick story.
sure.
So this was a couple months ago. I'm driving home from work, and I get a call from this lady that stays with my son when I'm at work, and she's telling me that uh, water is coming down from my ceiling, my kitchen ceiling. I said, okay, where's my son? She goes, he's in the bathroom. I said, the water is on. I go, can you please go upstairs? Tell him to shut off the water. I'm coming. Okay. I get home, walk in. Yes, water is dripping from my ceiling and it's gushing down the wall. I'm like, okay. I run upstairs. It's from the bathroom. I try to open, I have a stand-up shower. I try to open the door. It's shut. So I'm thinking, okay, I just need to make sure he's okay. I push it, it opens. I'm getting to you what he did. He's sitting there on the floor. So what my dear son wanted to do, he wanted to turn the stand-up shower to a tub. So he got it taped the whole thing shut, and taped the floor. Turned on the water, and the rest, you know. So I stood there. I cleaned up everything, cleaned up downstairs. The girls, I said to the girl, you can go home. You can go now. I'm okay. She goes, I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's fine. I mean, it's just an adventure in our life. And at that moment, I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this kid is amazing. I can't believe, instead of me getting upset because now I have a ceiling that I need to fix, I have all this damage, but all I could think of, like, wow, like he thought of it, like he thought of this plan and executed, and I'm just so amazed with his thinking.
It's clever.
I didn't get upset at all this.
Yeah.
This is the resilience that I've built.
Yep.
That I don't get upset when he breaks an iPad and when he does these things. I do address them. Like, I have stories of what he done and I address them.
Sure.
But it's not, I don't get upset over it anymore. It is what it is.
I got you on that. And I'm not minimizing anything in your life, but I used to get tripped up by anything like that. But when you change your mindset, it's not a big deal. Most of this is not. It's, fixable. We'll be okay. It's going to be all right. And the same thing, with devices. I would say to my kids, we be more careful. Blah, blah. Now I'm like, I pay, I don't know, $13 a month on insurance. Just throw it in a box, send it. No big deal. The kid is your kid is inconvenienced because it's going to be a couple of days before the replacement device comes. But oh well. But we worry about those things. But once you get to that point where, and I think it's resilience, because the resilience allows you to fix the problem, go past the problem,
and move on.
Right. Like my mantra, and maybe it's wrong, is nothing surprises me anymore. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Like living my life.
Yeah.
Nothing surprises me. I'm writing a book. I can't wait to finish my book and put it out there, because it's all about what my son did in his life. And and how you just deal with it and you go on. You can't just stop at it.
Mm,
It is what
mm.
it is.
But there's a lesson in everything. There's a lesson, and
Is
that's my
there?
belief. But and your lesson there, with the tub was that he's a bright kid, and we got to give him
Too,
some credit there. It's like
too,
it's
he's
a big
too
thing.
bright, too bright. He's
Y-
always 2 steps ahead of me.
Yeah, and you don't
I,
know where that's going to take him down the road. You brought back a memory about my mom. She would say when I was 3, I would take apart the flashlights. I would in my crib rock it to get to the front of the TV. So I take the buttons off.
look at you.
3 years, but
Yeah.
where did I wind up? In a studio that I built by myself. Why? I can hire somebody. No,
Yeah.
I love doing it. I've been
Yeah.
doing it since I was 9, wiring. I taught myself electronics because I wanted to do this that bad. So we don't know where that's going to lead him in that kind of
So
cognitive
true.
problem solving thinking. I want a tub. I'm working on that.
Yeah, and that's how he is. He wants something, believe me, nothing stops him.
Mm,
Nothing stops this kid from whatever it is that he wants. So
yeah,
it's a good thing. It's and a lot of times I look at kids and I am not degrading anybody's struggle.
sure.
Sometimes I'm glad my son has autism. A lot of times I am, because I say I'd rather deal with these issues than deal with like everything that these kids these days are dealing with, whether it's drugs and yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have my heart goes out to every mom that is struggling with that,
In
every parent.
all in different
Yeah,
ways. And to your
it's yeah,
point, you know, um, teenage girls now, and this according to CDC, it's the highest demographic of people that have considered taking their lives. What appears
it's
to be healthy girls,
yeah,
teenagers right now, I think it's 48% have considered ending it.
committed, yeah,
Yeah. And a lot of that because of social media, comparing
yes,
themselves, bullying. So that's a challenge there for a parent.
yeah.
You've got challenge. We all,
We all
everybody's got
have
a
challenge.
different challenge, but I think the key is adapting to the challenge. And that's where somebody like you comes into play, especially for a parent that has a special needs child, you get it. You've
I do get
been
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to,
Okay.
final thought here. You
Yes.
said you're working on a book.
Yes. Yes.
Great idea.
Yes.
And I believe everybody has a story, and we learn from those stories. This is what I learned in mindset. You said, I can't wait to publish this book. And as I go deeper into our subconscious, if you say can't wait, you're telling your subconscious, you know, can't wait. It's not going to happen. Can't wait. So I catch
Oh.
myself all the time saying that, and I reframe it and I say, it actually goes like this. I did it yesterday. I can't wait. And I say, I'm looking forward to
Oh.
publishing this
Okay.
book. Yeah, I don't know. It's just,
How how about if I take it one more step?
go.
I do have my book published. I'm gonna take it
Oh,
one more step.
yes. There we go.
Yes,
Yeah, that
I do
is
have it. And
we went from here to
to,
here
to,
to over
to
here because in
yes,
terms of mindset, it's already done. Already
it's
done.
already done.
It's
Yes.
happening. Yeah.
And this book is to bring joy and a smile on people's faces.
And it
It's
will.
got the stories in it are I'm making them into humorous stories, so people will enjoy it.
Yeah. But
The
again,
readers.
there's a story in
Yes,
everything. And
absolutely.
that's
Yes,
you manifested it. It's happening. It's already here. It's
it's here.
or
Yeah.
I believe it's right at the edge of your fingertips. So we have to just bring it in, whatever it might be. Um, Ghada, what's the best way to find you? If you're a parent going through some challenges, or someone just needs some life coaching in general, how do they do that?
Ghada, Ghada at savoryourseasons.com. Just send me a message on my website and look into the retreat that I'm
Oh,
organizing next May in Greece. That is going to be awesome.
I will be looking into that. I have not done. I shared with you bucket list
It's
solo
okay.
travel, which is that's on my list. And interestingly, I spoke with a gentleman who is 84 years old and runs a major Greek Mediterranean
Oh,
food products company. And based on his story, he inspired me. I take olive oil, extra virgin quality olive oil, in the morning and at night because he does. And it's changed his life. So I heard his story. So I got to go there to Greece and get the real thing. That's
you have to. Yes, yes. This is
yeah.
where you get the real thing. Yes.
Wonderful. So
Thank
amazing
you.
talking to you and with you.
Same here.
And thank you for your story today, too.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.